Good evening, everybody. Happy Sunday. Well, I guess it's not happy because we got to go back to work tomorrow. So, good Sunday evening. Hope you had a good weekend. Hope you got to hang out with people you like. Didn't have to deal with work. And if you had to deal with work this weekend, I hope you get some time off during the week so you can hang out with people you like. Um, I'm Seth Eisenberg. This is a Conservative Corner. Thanks for joining me this evening. I'm going to have a guest here in about 20 minutes. He's going to jump on with me, and we'll get more into that when he gets on here, but he'll be on here in about 20 minutes. Good guy. You'll like him. I like him. At least I tolerate him, so I guess there's a difference. A lot of crazy stuff this week happened. A lot. So, hey, Todd hey, how are you? How's the weather up there? Can't be as crappy as it is down here. It's hot. It's sticky and annoying. So I hope it's better up there, man. But yeah, so look, the first thing I want to talk about was when Netanyahu came to speak and nobody showed up at the airport to get him. I mean, let me correct that. People from the airport, or there were people at the airport, but they weren't high in the administration. And I'm not making fun of them at all. I mean, they're just doing what they're told. Then he went to the White House and addressed Congress, and a lot of the Democrats worked there. And one of the squad, I can't remember her name, Talib, whatever her name is, was on that little sign that said, genocide, or, you're committing genocide. She's the same moron that flew the Palestinian flag in front of her office in the halls of Congress, the same moron who put up the pride flag in the halls of Congress, who's now holding up and accusing Netanyahu of being genocidal. I only bring it up so I can say this. I could care less what she has to say, what she thinks, or what she does. To me, she is as important to me as the ant I stepped on outside going to my car this morning. She means nothing to me. Not even that, I'm indifferent about her. I could care less what she does or anything like that. Scary thing is people do follow her, though. They do listen to her. I mean, they're equally as intelligent, but there's still people out there that listen to her. So when she holds up those little signs that say, hey, Netanyahu, or, genocide, or, free Gaza, whatever little clever sign she held up during his address of Congress, really is meaningless to me. The problem is the media shows it. They plaster it everywhere they can, so it gets attention. She needs to be ignored. She truly is a racist. She is anti-Semite. She's, again, not a very intelligent person. And what concerns me more is that she's in an elected position. So how many other morons like her are out there? That's what concerns me. I think it was the fourth time Netanyahu's been invited to speak to Congress, which is a record, I believe. I don't know if you saw his speech or listened to it. I did. He's a very good public speaker. He's very articulate. He gets his point across. He's not a dry speaker. By that, I mean he's entertaining when he has to be. He doesn't talk over people's heads. He talks to you. He doesn't talk at you. So it kind of feels like when he's giving his speech, he's talking directly to you, that he wants you to understand what he's trying to say, which is cool. He's a good guy. And he's going through, I can't say he's a good guy because I don't know. He seems to be like a very good guy. Exactly. All the demons are just right out in your face now. But he seems like a very good man. He's trying to run a country that's surrounded on all sides by enemies. He's doing the very best he can with what he's got. And he's catching flack from everybody. And again, I think Kamala Harris came out and cackled a little bit, and she said that she wants the hostages to come home. My question to her and to anybody who's listening to this is, what have we done to get our own hostages back? I haven't heard anything being done on our side. I've heard, the Israeli IDF is working to get hostages back, but what are the Americans doing? What have they done to get our people back? And I can't find anything. So I'm going to assume they've done nothing. So now they're bitching at a country who's trying to get our people back and complaining about the way they're doing it, and then wanting them to calm down with what they're doing. I'd have given her the finger. I mean, you don't get to tell me how to get your people back when you aren't lifting a finger to get your own people back. If you can't do it, back off. Let me do what I got to do, and I'll get them for you. But don't complain or whine about how I'm doing it. I just don't understand why that's acceptable. And then while this is going on inside, with the addressing Congress, we had those morons. What Code Pink was there. All the pro-Palestinian sheep were outside. And then it became violent, according to police. They had to cordon off an area, push people back. They were spray painting and defacing monuments, and nobody did anything. And they wonder why people act like that, because they know they're not going to get in trouble. And I've said it before, and I'll say it again. Go back 2 summers when Antifa and Black Lives Matter were burning down cities and doing all they were doing. They weren't arrested. And that's carried over. Now everybody thinks they can get away with whatever they want to get away with because no one got arrested. Unless you were involved with J6, in which case they sent the entire FBI to your house with aviation and canine to drag you out. Other than that, they don't arrest people anymore. And there were hecklers inside of Congress. I mean, it was embarrassing. It was embarrassing. I was embarrassed for my country at that point, and not for my country, for DC. I was embarrassed for them. Netanyahu didn't come over to complain or gripe or accuse us of doing anything. He never has. He's been very supportive of the U.S., even when he probably shouldn't have been. He doesn't publicly attack us or call things out. He spoke to us, and we treated him like he was an unwanted guest in our house, and that's ridiculous. There's a list of people who didn't go to his speech on my Facebook page. Go look at it. I mean, you won't be surprised who it is, but give it a look. This country's going down a path that if we don't course correct quickly, it's going to be nearly impossible to get off of. We're condemning countries for defending themselves. We have the Democrat nominee for president wasn't even didn't have a primary, was just selected and appointed. Those fools in DC defacing the monuments and acting like little assholes just because they don't like how Israel's defending themselves. I mean, I would love to ask them, what would they do in his place? How would they react? I mean, what do they expect him to do? Just sit there and let them attack him? And then again, a couple of days ago, they attacked Israel again and killed people playing soccer. I think 11 people were killed playing soccer. And you don't hear any of these fools complaining or moaning about that. None of that. It's all what Israel has to do. It's all incumbent upon Israel to do this and do that. Nothing on Hamas, nothing on Gaza, nothing at all. It's all Israel's responsibility. They need to do this. They need to back off. They need to go to agree to a ceasefire. I don't see how people can I know they can justify it in their own heads because they got the IQ of a squirrel. So they don't think, they just react. But if you're a thinking person with an IQ above a flip-flop, how do you justify what Gaza does and you condemning Israel in your head? How does that work? How do you think, that makes sense to me. Israel needs to stop, but we're not going to mention Gaza killing folks and all that. We're not going to say that. We're not going to mention that Gaza or that Hamas has been doing this for years. That this is not all of a sudden. They've been launching rockets into Israel for years. We're not going to mention that. Israel's being a bully. They need to stop and let Gaza do what they want to do. I mean, when you say it out loud, it sounds just as ridiculous as it would in your head. But I guess if you got the IQ of a flip-flop, it doesn't matter to you. And then I think Netanyahu met with Harris and the poopy pants the day after, kind of on a side meeting, and they kind of talked, and that's when Harris came out with her whole bunch of bullshit that, we need to get Gaza, we need to pull out of Gaza, it needs to be ceasefire, hostages need to be released, blah, 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 blah. And I think they did it because they felt like they had to. If they thought they could get away with not addressing or talking with Netanyahu, I don't think those two would have. That's just my opinion. They don't impress me as pro-Israeli people. They impress me as pro-morons. And that's just me. I digress. And then he went to meet with President Trump in Mar-a-Lago. And that seemed like it was a pretty good meeting. They embraced, they talked out front, went inside. I know Trump is a huge supporter of Israel. So I bet that meeting was more productive than the meeting he had with Harris and Poopy Pants. I can almost guarantee it. I'm sure more was done there than with those two morons. And it's sad that that's how he has to do things. And he can't talk to the person in charge now and get things done and feel like that he's being listened to and he's appreciated. No, he's going to go to somebody who was president, who's running for president again to get that, hey, we support you. I mean, you can hear Harris and Biden say, oh, we support Israel. And you just know they don't. You can just feel it. Like, nah, you're just saying that. That's what's on your teleprompter. So that's what you're saying. But you really don't mean it. And then what Harris said, that Israel has to increase aid to Gaza, has to do more to help the Gaza. Why? Why? Can anybody explain why? Why is it Israel's responsibility to take care of Gaza? Why isn't it Gaza's responsibility to take care of their own people? Why is it the entire world's responsibility to take care of those people except themselves? I don't get it. And people are like, yeah, it's Israel's responsibility. They invaded. No, they didn't start this war. They're going to finish it, but they didn't start it. But yeah, it's their responsibility to feed, clothe, water, house, help medically. Everything is now Israel's responsibility. And once again, Gaza is not responsible for their own people. They don't have to do anything. They can just sit back and wait for all the aid to pour in, and then Hamas will steal the aid and use it to make more tunnels and buy more weapons, and the people in Gaza will starve, and their kids will get sick, and they'll all blame Israel for it. That's how it works. I'm not making it up. That's how it works. That's why I don't understand why Israel feels any responsibility at this point. It's like, hey, we've tried to help you. We've given you electricity. We give you water. We give you shelter. We allow you to come into Israel and work and go to school and visit people. And in return, you blame us for everything that goes on in your country. If a dog gets hit in the street by a car, they're blaming Israel for it. It's how ridiculous those people are. And then I think I read a article and it said, and I could be wrong, that 80% of the people support Hamas on October 7th. And I think 65 to 70 still support Hamas now with what's going on when it involves Israel. And then people want you to believe, well, it's not all of them. You know, it's a small minority of people that support Hamas. No, it's not. It's a large population of people, and it's ridiculous. And then you don't see the Israelis cheering in the streets when something bad happens in America. They feel sorry for us. They want to help us. But over here, we're jumping up and down and cheering and yay, Hamas. I mean, on one of the monuments, it said Hamas is coming. And I can't remember what monument that was, but it was in D.C. There are people who want them to come over here. And we don't do anything about these people. First Amendment. And don't get me wrong. If you want to protest, I fully support it. I was in the Navy. I fought for rights. You want to exercise your rights, that is awesome, and I'll support you all day long. But I'm going to stop supporting you when you become violent and you start calling for terrorist organizations to come into this country. I don't care. You claim your First Amendment right when you're doing that. I'm not going to support you anymore. I don't think that's right. I don't think we should have to support it. If you're calling for a known terrorist organization to come to this country, you lose your rights to talk publicly anymore. You're trying to incite violence, and that's not covered by the First Amendment, and it shouldn't be. And then they caught, 3 Palestinian terrorists coming across the border in California today or yesterday? So they caught 3 out of 1,000 that made it over, probably. I mean, let's be honest. You catch 3, you missed 1,000. At least 1,000 made it over here. And that's just Palestinians. What about Chinese? What about North Koreans? What about any multitude of countries that are considered enemy? How many of them have slid across the border to this country? And we have people calling for them to be here. I don't know where we're going, folks. I really don't. I don't understand it. And like I said, just when I think I got the angle on what we're doing, they do something completely stupid. And, hey, hold my beer. And I'm like, I don't know what's going on now. I get lost. But yeah, when Netanyahu came over here, it was an embarrassment. I mean, I couldn't believe we acted that way. And like I was talking to people I know, I was like, even if you don't agree with the man, let's say you flat out don't agree with him, what's the harm in listening to what he says? How is that going to hurt you? Just to listen. You don't have to agree with what he says. Just listen. Hear the man out. Maybe you'll go, you know what? I found some common ground with the guy. I still don't agree with him, but there's some things there that I can get on board with him. Democrats won't even do that. They won't even give the man the benefit of the doubt. They won't even listen to him speak. But they'll support the fools outside defacing monuments and fighting and shoving police and getting out of hand. That's who they're going to support. And there are rhinos that do that too. There are Republicans that are just as nasty and devious and untrustworthy as liberals. They do the same things. Election time's coming up, folks. Some big decisions to make. Big decisions. And we'll get into that a little later. So we had that going on. And then every time I turn the news on, apparently Kamala Harris has raised like $75 trillion or something like that in 2 days. And she's going to beat Trump. She's got all the delegates. Come on. Do you believe that really? When she ran against Biden, she couldn't even get 1%. She dropped out because she couldn't even muster up 1% to support her. But now all of a sudden, all the Democrats who hated her and thought she was just a joke, love her. She's accomplished nothing. She's done nothing. She was in charge of the board. What the borders are? Well, look at the border. It's an utter failure. So all these people back then who wouldn't support her now apparently want to support her and are giving billions and billions of dollars, or however much she's supposed to have gotten in the last week, giving to her all this money all of a sudden. Do you really believe that? I sure as hell don't. I think it's all just propaganda. And what they're trying to do is say all this, hoping Republicans like, oh, well, Trump can't beat her now. It's not even worth voting. I'm not even going to vote. He's already lost. I mean, listen to the news. She's raising millions of dollars every day. Trump can't keep up with that. I'm not voting. Don't listen to the media. Don't. Camilla has no shot of winning at all. So no matter what they say, show up and vote on November 5th for Trump. Show up and vote for candidates you know are conservative. It's no longer enough to be Republican. You have to be conservative. Vote for conservative candidates that you know, number one, and more importantly, will uphold the Constitution. That is the law of the land. That's their rule book. That's what they have to follow. Not us. That's them. And we have too many Republicans and Democrats in office that don't care about the Constitution and do what they want to do because we allow that to happen. So November 5th, don't worry about what the news is saying about Camilla. She can't win. Vote. Go vote. Get your friends to vote. Get your family to go vote. Don't assume that we're just going to walk away with this. Please don't do that. That's what they want you to do. Oh, I don't need to vote. I don't got to go. We got this. Or I don't need to vote. We're going to lose. I mean, and the best thing I say to do, Democrat, Republican, Independent, whatever party you are, is educate yourself on the candidates. Don't just assume because you watch a couple snippets on a news channel that you know what they're about. Spend the time to know the candidate you want to vote for. It's really that important. It's worth putting as much time into that as you do to whatever smartphone game is the flavor of the month. If you could spend hours on end playing on that phone, you could spend a couple hours looking at the candidate that you want to support and find out if you truly support them. And then look at the other candidates and see, well, hey, I agree more with that person than this person. My rule of thumb is when it comes to a candidate, if I agree with them 95 or 93% or more, I'm going to support them. Because 93% is a pretty high bar. Number two, I don't expect to agree with them on everything, but I need to agree with them on most things they want to do in order to have my support. Both the left and right are Zionists supported by Jews. Is it bug bomb night at the trailer park or something? Did you get a furlough from the House for the Criminally Insane? So why? Okay, I'll bite because I'm waiting for my guest. I'll bite. So you think both the left and the right are Zionists. So everybody in Congress fully supports Israel as far as it is to have their own state and their right to defend that state, which I agree with. That's what Zionism means. They're not going to tell you that. That's what Zionism means, that the Jews believe they should have their own state and have the right to defend that state. I wonder what that's called for like any other country in the world, but there's a special name for Jews that do that because it's fashionable to pick on Jews. And you think both the right and the left are supported by Jews. Then explain to me why very few Democrats showed up to listen to Netanyahu speak, why even less support Israel, and why all those people are out protesting for a terrorist organization. Explain that to me. Oh, wait. You probably got to wipe the stuff off your keyboard from the bug bomb going off. So I'll give you a minute, so I'll keep going. Like I said, we have to vote en masse November 5th. That is a prime example of why we have to do it. Really. If that doesn't go, hey, this country is going to either go down this path with these nuts who blame everybody else for all the problems, or we need to go down this path where the Constitution reigns supreme, and we use our common sense that God gave us. It's really that simple. It's not that difficult, but people will make it. Trump is a Zionist and not a Christian. Number one, Tiffany, Zionism is not a religion. It's, I guess I would call that a philosophy or a political affiliation, I guess, of sorts. So he could be a Zionist and a Christian. As I said before, Zionism is just the belief that Jews should have their own land and be able to defend that. That's pretty much all it means. That's all it says. So yes, you could be a Zionist and a Christian. You could be a Zionist and a Buddhist. You could be a Zionist and a Hindu. You pretty much could be a Zionist and everything because one has nothing to do with the other. It's really that simple. So yeah, I'm glad when people like this come on because it gives you an idea of what we're fighting against. And I'm not, if that's her belief, that's fine. I'm not trying to change her mind, and she's definitely sure shit ain't going to change mine. But that's the frame of mind some of our leadership in DC has. And we need to get away from those people. It's really, I mean, unless you want more protests like we have in Netanyahu, where people just fighting with the police, spray painting on national monuments, and in general acting like fools. If that's what you like, well, then you vote for people like that. If you're like me, who believe that everybody has a right to speak and that you should be polite, not even polite, you should be respectful, even if you don't agree with what they're saying, as long as they're not trying to incite violence, especially if you represent this country, you should make your ass available to listen to the man speak. And if you don't agree, you don't agree. And that the law of the land is the Constitution. If you believe in that, then you need to vote this way. Be the extremists. People who feel that way now are called extremists or whatever, or they're on watch lists for whatever reason. It's really, really that simple. Crazy? Common sense. Crazy? Constitution. Aluminum foil hats. Or you just follow the rule of law. It's that simple. I don't, and people, I'm Jewish, so people, you call me a Jew or you're a Zionist, they think it hurts me, and it doesn't, because I don't know these people that say that to me. I can only assume that their life is pretty miserable, and they're very bitter and angry, and like I said, it's fashionable to pick on Jews now. I don't get it, but it is. So yeah, we had the protests, and I'm sorry, I don't know if you've watched me before. I jump from topic to topic. I mean, I have notes, but I still jump, and I apologize. I truly, truly do. I don't mean to. I try to stay on topic, but sometimes I get, a shiny thing. So I apologize. So we had Netanyahu. We had the protests. No arrest. I think there were arrests made, but all the charges have been dropped. Shocking. And then he met with Poopy Pants and Harris, and then he met with Trump, and then the attack in Israel happened where they launched the rockets into the pitch is soccer. They said the pitch field. So I'm assuming that's a soccer field. He killed 11 Israelis. So I think he traveled back yesterday, which is a big thing because Saturday is the big day for Jewish people. It's like Sunday for Christians. But I think he traveled back to see what was going on. And that's what a leader does. You know, sometimes you got to bend the rules to help your people. And I think he can get away with that after what happened. You know, you can't really make any of this stuff up, but on our side, it's sad. I mean, like I said, we're not so far gone as a country yet that we can't course correct. We most certainly can. And November 5th is that day. That's the day we need to readjust the course here and get the ship going right. And even if we do everything right on November 5th, people need to understand this is not going to be an overnight fix. It can't be. We're not going to be able to fix all the ills in the country that have been caused by the Democrats and the morons for the last 8 years or however long they've been doing it. We're not going to be able to fix that in 4 years. Trump will lay the groundwork, and then we're going to have to follow through with the next election and elect another conservative, and so on and so on. The foundation will be laid by him, but it's not going to be completed by him. So keep that in mind. Vote for, again, just because someone says a Republican doesn't mean anything. You want conservatives. You want people, politicians who follow the Constitution and are conservative. That's who you want, because they believe in a smaller government and don't want to be in everybody's life every 10 seconds telling you what you can and can't do. It's that simple. Follow the Constitution, stay out of your life, run things the way they should be run, from afar with little interference. So don't fall for I'm a Republican. Look into them. Again, it goes back to educating yourself about every candidate that's out there. Some people don't. Some people just vote party line. That's why we're in the problem that we're in now. That's why there are Republicans that don't support Trump, because he doesn't fall in with the Republicans. He's a conservative and he's a businessman. So he knows he's got beyond common sense. He walks the walk and talks the talk. He's seen how it affects people. Like the thing I love is during the debate with Hillary, she said, well, you don't pay taxes and blah, blah, blah. And, you don't pay your fair share. And he said, you're right. I'm following the tax laws that you wrote. If you don't want me to do that, rewrite the tax laws. I couldn't stop laughing because he's right. He's not breaking any rules. He just has better accountants than I can afford. And there's nothing wrong with that. If he can do it, great. It's the law that has been written that he's following. There's nothing wrong with that. If I could do that, I would too. I don't make enough to probably even need that. But if I did, I would do the same thing. Nothing wrong with it. And he's right. If you think it's wrong, change the law. It's that simple. But liberals won't, because they're trying to help their friends out. So yeah, educate yourself on your candidates. And if you're thinking, well, this Democrat seems kind of level and even keel, think about what happened with Netanyahu being here and all the fools out there burning the American flags, defacing monuments and fighting with the police. Those are Democrat liberals, communists, socialists, whatever you want to call them. It's all clumped together. They're the same thing. They just use different names to describe themselves. So please educate yourself. And while we're on that subject, I do want to talk about burning the American flag. I was in the military. My daughter's in the military. My brother's in the military. My father was a police officer. Stepbrother's in the military. Both stepbrothers were in the military. My mother worked for the Department of the Army before she passed. Family's all about service to others. And I need that to be said, because what I'm going to say is probably going to upset some people and I'll lose some people. But it's truly how I feel. While I don't agree with burning the American flag, while I think it is despicable, shameful, and disrespectful to everybody that's fought for that flag or sacrificed for that flag, it is their right to do so. And I know some of you don't want to hear that. Trust me, when I see people burning the flag, I want to canoe their head with a baseball bat. But it's their right. And you can't support the Constitution and support the country and then say you can't do that simply because you don't like it. You don't have to support the person. You support the right they're exercising. Big difference. Like they used to tell me in the Navy, you're not saluting the man, you're saluting the rank. If I don't like it, that's fine. I'm not saluting the dude, I'm saluting the lieutenant bars. So you're not supporting the person burning the flag, you're supporting the rights. You're supporting the Constitution. They're allowed to do that. I don't agree with it. Just like I don't agree with people walking around filming people in public without their permission. I think that's ridiculous too. But it's their right. And you have to respect the fact they're exercising their right. Again, you're not respecting the person for doing it. You're not respecting anything other than, hey, that's their right. They're exercising their right. That's what I support. You got it. And as crappy as that sounds, and some of you probably spitting and giving me the finger right now, it's a right and they can do it. And again, I guess I disagree with it. I don't think it should be a law, but it is. So I'm not going to sit here and cry about something I can't do anything about. You want to burn the flag? Just know I think you're a flaming asshole, but I support the right you're exercising. So hopefully you burn yourself, or the lighter explodes, or something happens and you get burnt. But I support the right. And sorry if that upsets you. I really am. But hey, it is what it is. Rights go both ways. And another thing I'd like to say is, just because it's your right doesn't mean you're not going to catch flack for it. And you most definitely could call those people douchebags or idiots or whatever you want to call them. That's your right. That the First Amendment right swings that way too. Someone's burning the flag, you can call them an idiot too. It goes both ways. If you want to burn the Palestinian flag, you can do that. That right goes both ways. Remember that. So if they're burning the American flag, burn the Palestinian flag. Look at them while you're doing it. Or burn the pride flag. You're allowed to. They can't say they can do that, but you can't do this. They can't do it. So burn them. Let them watch you burn their flag. I'm serious. Just like I said, you're supporting the right, not the person or the act. You're supporting the right. And Yeah, that could be aggravating. Okay. So I'm getting ready to bring my guest on. I've known the guy for a long time. But first, let me pay some bills real quick, and I will be right back with our guest. If I can find the bills we're going to pay. Give me a second. Here we go.
Not believe, no detergent, no hot water, no fabric softener. Now you even threw away all the chemicals to clean your home. I don't need to buy spray to cut through grease. I don't need to buy window cleaners. I don't need to buy carpet shampoo. I don't need to buy things to mop my floor. I don't need to buy things to take pesticide off my vegetables, fruits, and fish. Oh my gosh, where did this come from? I'll tell you where it came from. It came from hospitals. This is actually a photo of a huge commercial hospital laundry technology that cost in excess of $100,000 if you bought that whole thing, and it'll fill up your garage. That's how big it is. And what we've done with the advent of microelectronic technology, my team and I constantly use microtechnology just like your smartphone. The new EcoWasher SE is a chemical-free laundry and clean.
There you go. So let me bring on him, and we'll start with him. Hey, now I see you.
I'm operating from my iPhone, so I got to swap back and forth.
Oh, that's fine. I didn't tell everybody who you were, so take a minute, tell everybody who you are, and we'll go from there.
Your boss, right?
No, your boss. So just tell her tell me your name and how I know you.
All right. Are you ready?
Go ahead. You're on.
Oh, I'm on. Oh, thanks to the Q producer.
My first day here.
Good evening, everybody. I'm Fred Profiter, president of the Frederick County Conservative Club, and I've had the great pleasure of working with Seth here for the last almost 6 years now on the club, and glad to be on with you tonight. Thanks for having me.
Oh, anytime. Tell everybody what the club is, a little bit about that, so they understand where that's coming from.
We are a nonpartisan nonprofit. We're basically doing education for the public. We've had several bipartisan debates, congressional, senatorial, school board, which are nonpartisan anyway. We do advocacy. One of our big things is human trafficking, is fighting human trafficking. Every January we do human trafficking awareness, and we work with a group called Untrafficked, which is based out of Maryland here. Well, the founder is based out of Maryland here, but they operate out of Texas, actually. So it's a nation.
And there's a proclamation now in Frederick City for that, right?
Yes, we've been proclaimed. So the good mayor, Randy O'Connor, O'Connor, gave us proclamation. Yes. Hey, as good as Democrats can get, I guess.
Well, yeah, true. So I just got done talking about the protest with Netanyahu, those fools out there tearing things up. So what's your take on it?
Ridiculous.
Yeah, what do you think about that?
Shoot them on sight.
my whole take. Go ahead.
No, I mean, I try not to sugarcoat anything.
Well, that's fine. I mean, that's why I love you.
But well, Alexander's buzzing in, but we'll let her go.
My whole take.
I mean, anytime they desecrate a national monument, I mean, there's ought to be a price to pay. No question about it. I mean, we have J6ers sitting in jail over 3 years now. You know,
true.
Some without a trial. You know, a couple have died from ailments that they've had. You know.
Well, that's what I was saying. Everybody but I mean, the J6ers are the only people who've been arrested for doing what they were accused of doing. Nobody else is being held accountable. I think the 11 people they arrested for those protests have had all their charges dropped.
Yeah, I mean, you can physically see cops getting drug across the pavement down there at Union Station. That's nuts.
And the way I was talking about it, I said, I'm telling everybody, while I don't approve of like burning the flag or, doing that kind of thing, it's their right. And I respect the fact that they're exercising their right, not what they're doing or who they are. Because
Exactly.
they're exercising that right. I don't agree with burning the flag. I think it should be illegal. I don't think it should be allowed, but it is. So I applaud them exercising their right, but not how they're doing it or who they are. And there's a difference between that and going, I approve of burning the flag. There's a huge difference. I don't approve of the burning the flag, but I approve of exercising your right.
Right. Exactly. Everybody has a right to be stupid.
Yes. And I utilize that right quite often every day.
How well I know.
So that was going on. I mean, and the whole thing with Kamala Harris all of a sudden being the nominee without having primary or anything. She's just been appointed. I think is ridiculous too. I think that undermines the whole process.
Yeah, here they are. They accuse us of trying to steal an election in 2020. And they stole the election in 2024.
Yep.
And she has no votes. Nobody. She was never in a primary.
When she did run against Biden, she had like 1%, didn't she?
Yeah, and she was gone before Iowa.
Yep.
So.
But yeah, I guess it's okay for the Democrats to appoint people, but Republicans can't because it's wrong if we do it.
Yeah, she's been anointed, and they put the holy oil on her. She's got the Obama oil on her, so she's good.
So, what do you think her chances are if she gets the official nomination? What do you think her chances
are? Got two, slim and none.
So you don't think she's raising these millions of dollars every day and all these people rallying behind her?
The original $80 million was being held back from Biden by the bundlers. And that's what they were using to say, hey, either get out or we're going to drop the 25th Amendment on you.
True.
That's true. They blackmailed him out of it. So I'm sure they made some kind of deal where he can pardon or commute himself and Hunter.
They probably have
so they're not facing any charges.
I honestly, I wish he'd have stayed in.
Oh, me too.
Just because it wouldn't even have been a contest. It'd have been like, hey, it's election day. We're not even counting the votes. You lost. Get out.
Yeah, I mean, the only way they win is if they cheat. It's the only way it's gonna, So they will not be able to do it legitimately.
No. In my opinion on the whole cheating thing is, I think it's been going on for decades. I think we're just seeing because they don't care if we know now. They're like, what are you going to do? You're not going to do nothing. We're going to cheat.
Right. And as long as we have Democrat mayors or governors appointing Democrats to head the election boards, it's going to be happening.
And speaking of that, that's a good segue. Speaking of that, our moron governor, from Biden to Harris, like 3 days? I support Biden, I support Harris.
Oh, yeah. Hey, I'm surprised he didn't break his neck. He turned so fast.
I think he did. That's why he's walking funny. And another thing that I don't know if a lot of people know, that our Democrat governor here in Maryland is supported by and campaigned for by Larry Hogan, who's a Republican and was governor prior to Wes Moore becoming governor. And
you really want me to get started on Hogan?
I don't know. Well, you saw it today. I was on my Facebook page and people are trying to explain to me why, voting for the lesser of two evils is great and we need to get Hogan in office. And I'm like, no, we don't.
No, we don't.
He's not a Republican. He's told you he's not going to vote Republican. He said he's not going to work with Trump if he's been elected. So what good thing are we going to get out of him being in office? And they can't tell you that other than we need to flip the Senate. And then you tell them there's 5 other states that are going to do that. We don't need Maryland.
No, we don't need him at all. I mean, he's got a first chance he gets, he's going to flip. You know, if it comes down to a 50-50 split, Democrats, Republicans, Chuck Schumer's going to approach him and say, I'll give you chairmanship of this committee. Hogan's going to be gone in a heartbeat. In a heartbeat. You know?
I think once he's elected, he's going to go back to the no labels party.
That's true.
I think he'll just make it public. Yeah, I'm no longer Republican or Democrat. I'm a no labels.
Yeah, he can sit up there with Bernie Sanders.
Oh, that's those two. That's they could trade denture cream and crap together. That's what I've been
two peas in a pod.
I've been telling the people that being Republican is not enough anymore. They all say they're Republican. They need to start looking at people who are conservative and constitutionalists, people who are diehard Constitution. Because if they're not going to screw you over.
Do not be a slave to the R.
No.
If you vote R all the time, you're going to get let down every time.
Oh, yeah, and I tell Democrats the same thing. Don't vote D straight down the line. Educate yourself on who's running, and then make an informed decision. Don't just D, R.
I mean, if the Democrats would just look into their candidates, they would see that they're the ones that are trying to transition their kids. They're the ones that are basically keeping them on the plantation, if you will.
Oh, heck yeah.
You know, and they have been since. Speaking of,
did you see that thing about the Olympics? Speaking about transitioning people, this Olympics there's 50% male and female athletes as opposed to 1992. There's only 28, and then 64 was 13.2%. Then it was 9.6%. Then it was 2%. So it's been 50-50. And my whole thing was, well, it ain't so special when men can say they're women and compete in women's sports. So it's not.
Well, thankfully, the Olympic Committee did not allow trans.
Good this year
to compete
or this time around. They're going to catch heat and they're going to fold. They're not going to stand up to that.
Well, I've watched 2 events on the Olympics. You know, men's swimming, and dressage.
Speaking of the Olympics, did you watch the opening ceremony?
The old fancy prancing around the. Huh?
Did you watch the opening ceremony?
No, I did not. Thank God I did not. I'd have put something through my TV.
But you've seen it and you've heard about it and you're aware.
Oh yeah. Oh.
Now there are people
it's absolutely
online,
disgusting what they did.
Oh yeah. There are people online saying that wasn't a mockery of the Last Supper, that it was something to do with the Greeks, and then the people.
Oh shit.
Oh, I know. And then the people who put it together have come out and said, "Oh, we apologize for making fun of the Last Supper." So the people defending it don't even know what they're defending.
Right.
I watched a little bit of it, and the only reason I turned it off because I thought it was the stupidest thing in the world. I think the best opening ceremony was I can't remember when, but they had James Bond and the Queen, and they skydived into the stadium. I think it was, when was that? It was 2 or 3 Olympics ago. That was the best opening ceremony I ever saw. It was cool. I just watched it today. So when I saw this, I'm like, yeah, this is pretty stupid. And all it is you're pandering to 2% of the world population.
Yeah, if that. I mean, you're going to have transgenders in Islam? That shrinks it that much more.
You can't tell them that, though. Oh, no, they respect us over there. No, they don't. They throw you off the roof.
No, they don't. You know, you're just another body on the pile.
Yeah, they don't care. And then what they had the trans Last Supper, then they had the metal group. The group was pretty cool. Then they had the Marie Antoinette with her head. I mean, it was just pretty. It was like, I don't know where they were trying to go with it. I don't understand what hey, we're gonna do this and this, and we're gonna end up here. I didn't get it at all.
And what about the Smurf with the erection?
That was nice. That was like Papa Smurf. Yeah, that was just like the cherry on top. That was like, yep, that put it over for me, buddy.
Yeah.
Smurf with a heart on. That's awesome. Come here, kids. Look at this. And then when they had the white horse, like AI thing, yeah, it was. I don't know where they were trying to go with it. Every other opening ceremony, you halfway through, like, oh yep, I see what we're doing. I see where we're going. With this one, it was just like, this makes no goddamn sense to me.
Yeah, last one I watched was Sapporo, Japan, and that made absolutely no sense to me either. So I guess I'm just not put my nose in the air artistic enough.
Well, I'm not either. But I'm saying, when we get done with this, go on YouTube and look at James Bond opening ceremonies. Oh, it was awesome. It was literally the best opening ceremony I've ever seen. It was just so cool. They actually had the Queen of England involved. It was neat. But yeah, I watched this, and I was just, number one, the Olympics, as far as I'm concerned, are like family oriented. The family watches the Olympics. It's not just the parents. Kids watch it too. And then you put that trash on there for kids to see, and I just don't understand how they thought that was a good idea. I don't.
Yeah.
I mean, the guy's nuts were hanging out in one of the. I mean, what? I don't get it.
They missed no opportunity to groom our kids.
But they're not grooming them. They're not grooming them. You're crazy.
Oh, no, of course not. I mean,
they're not grooming anybody.
That's just my biased opinion, right?
Yeah, you're homophobic and transphobic, whatever phobic there is now. But yeah, and you're right. That's why they do it. They want to make it seem normal. They don't want people to go. They want to go, oh, it's this. That's fine. And they're getting there. Slowly but surely, they're getting there. And it's not. People got to stand up and start. No, we're not doing this anymore. This is it. We're done.
Excuse me. I was at the last Board of Education meeting. I mean, I had the graphics up there and showed them.
Yeah, I saw. I watched it.
This is what you voted for. This is what you approved. This is what your little book review said was good. Little boys giving each other handies and blowjobs. In elementary school.
They don't care. It's all about being woke and supporting everybody's lifestyle, because you have to support everybody. Everybody's special. In which case, nobody's special. But you can't tell them that.
School just needs to get back to fucking reading, writing, arithmetic instead of this social engineering, cultural molding bullshit.
Well, I agree. I tell people, if you homeschool, get your kids out of public school.
Yeah, I have a daughter that is homeschooling.
Yeah,
thankfully.
Hit them in the wallet. That's the only way they're going to pay attention. You start hitting them in the wallet.
Yep.
And people go, oh, I can't homeschool. I don't have the time. You know what? They've got homeschool schools where other parents homeschool kids, and they all go to the same place and do the same things together, so there's no excuse now. Send them to a homeschool school.
Yep, my stepdaughter up in Connecticut does that.
Well, that's good. That's the only way you know your kid will get a solid education.
Yep.
You're taking a chance anywhere else, which is sad. But it is what it is, I guess. But yeah, I mean, the Olympics.
Then they come out smarter and more socially developed.
Oh yeah, there's studies that say they do better in college. They stay in college longer, and they're better off. But people aren't going to listen to that. They'd rather have their kid being taught by some teacher with purple hair and 75 earrings talking about their pronouns are Ziza and identify as an elf. That's what they want. Yeah. That's good.
Yeah. Like, your pronouns are do your fucking job.
Yeah, teach my kid, and that's it. All right, we got to pay the bills real quick. We'll be right back.
Born in the coastal plains of South Texas, Smoking Gun Coffee is founded by combat veterans that know exactly what a cup of coffee needs to taste like. Run by father and son, each coffee bean is perfected, roasted at 500 degrees, and cooled with a Gulf Coast breeze. Smoking Gun Coffee hand makes and bags each ounce of coffee for maximum customer satisfaction. With every purchase, 10% goes back to organizations that help veterans and local communities. That's Texas made, one bag at a time. To find out more, go to www.smokingguncoffee.com.
So that's Smoking Gun Coffee. It's a veteran-owned company. And if you go to their website and you click Coffee Club, you can buy Conservative Corner coffee. And like I tell everybody every weekend, it tastes just like freedom. So no better way to start your morning off than with a piping hot cup of freedom. And it's coffee.
I gotta get me some.
And if you do buy some, take a picture of you drinking it, and I'll post it. And then I'll post it. I don't know what else I'll do, but I'll post it. But you need coffee anyway, or your day just isn't right, off kilter, the whole day.
Exactly.
So just when like I said earlier, just when I think I got it figured out what they want to do, they do something else, and I'm like, okay, I never saw that coming. Like there was a shooting in Columbia Mall down the road from where I live this weekend.
I missed that.
One person got shot, but still, one person is one too many. And of course, all the call are gun control. We need to get rid of guns. Okay, because that's the only reason.
The gun just jumped up into somebody's hand and went off on its own.
Well, that's the only reason people kill everybody, because there's guns. They wouldn't use a knife or anything else. If there weren't guns, there'd be no more murder in the world. We'd all hold hands and sing songs together. It's only because of guns we have a problem.
Yeah.
People actually believe that, though.
Watch your prison movie.
Ever heard of Shank?
If they want you dead, they're going to find a way to do it.
Yeah, I mean, McVeigh used fertilizer, and killed 1,000 people.
Yeah. Yep.
The terrorists used box cutters and killed 3,000 people. If they want to, people who want to do harm are going to do harm. You're not going to be able to stop them.
Yeah.
And the best thing to do is not disarm the law-abiding citizens so they're unable to protect themselves, but let them be armed so they can stop the bad guys.
Yeah. Joe Pesci did it with a pen.
Yeah. Where's the tough guy? I hear a little girl. But yeah, everything's going backwards in this country. It doesn't make sense to me. And so-called Republicans in D.C. aren't doing anything about it.
I think we should just go back to rocks and clubs.
It's kind of brutal, but okay.
Yeah.
I mean, if you look at everything, I mean, the only thing we've consistently as a race improved upon exponentially is weapons. We've improved upon killing people more than anything else. I mean, medicine's right there too, but we've gone from, a rock to a nuclear bomb that can wipe out an entire city.
Country.
Or country, yeah. And it's just, I guess it's human nature. They want, bigger guns, whatever. But the answer to that is not take away law-abiding citizens' ability to defend themselves and leave them at the mercy of the bad guys. That's right. Not the answer. But liberals will tell you that it is. They'll argue with you till they're blue in the face that that's how you handle crime. You take away guns.
Yeah. Start with the street guns. Go find the guy that's dealing guns out of the trunk of his car.
Oh, yeah. But you take
that would be a dramatic decrease in street shootings.
Well, you've got all these liberal lawyer or state's attorneys and judges that just don't punish anybody.
Yeah.
I mean,
that goes back to Kamala too. Back when she was in San Francisco. I mean,
she would put people.
That was the start of the decline of San Francisco.
Yeah, she would put people in prison for life for a joint.
Yeah. But then she had to change your heart, Yeah.
If you want to become.
Yeah. We need prison reform. Talking out of both sides of her mouth.
And then she had that one guy that she withheld evidence on that was like on death row, getting ready to get stuck with the needle, and they finally let it out and got him all. I mean, does that not matter to anybody?
I got a whole list of things here from Biden and Harris accomplishments.
Let's hear it. Give me two of them. Let's talk with two of them.
Two. Let's see. So record high consumer debt. How's that?
Okay, that's
people have to, in order to get by, have to put it on their credit card rather than just doling out the cash that they used to have.
Right. Yeah, I went to the grocery store the other day just to get like milk and some, like the staples, and some lady in front of me was like, I guess she has a big family. She's buying like a cartload, and I was thinking, maybe $200-300. was
No,
like,
500-600.
yeah, it was $600. And she's like, I don't have this. She goes, how am I supposed to feed? She goes, I don't. And I'm like, I felt bad for her. I'm like, I'm right there with you, sister. It's ridiculous. I mean, she was short like $40, so I paid the 40 for her. But that's not the point. The point is that shouldn't have had to come to that.
No.
That's ridiculous.
No,
I mean,
I can remember my mother filling up a grocery cart, 2 grocery carts,
yeah,
and walking out of the store for $30, $40 max.
yeah. And it wasn't cheap shit you got. You got decent stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but now you got to take a second mortgage out on your house or max out your credit cards just to feed your family.
Yep.
And they want to scream we're in the best economy in the world. Whatever. All right, what's another one?
Yeah. Let's see. Well, we already covered crime. Lied to the American public about Joe's decline. How's that?
What do you mean? He's fine. He's sharp as a tack.
Yeah, yeah. Tarp as a shack.
Sharp as a bowling.
Declared war on American energy. How's that?
That's if I were in charge, and that would be a scary thing to begin with. But if I were in charge,
Indeed,
I would tell OPEC, hey, I'm paying $15 a barrel, and that's it. Not anymore. You're not going to jack prices up every other month. 15, or you know what? We're going to stop buying from you, and we're the biggest purchaser of your oil. You'll go broke in a month. So think about it.
Yeah.
And then I guarantee you that that's fine. We'll do that. But we don't even do that. We let them twist our arms and, charge what? It's almost $4 a gallon again.
Yeah, and then we sold our emergency reserves to China.
That was smart. And that was Biden, right?
Yeah, that was Biden. Yeah. Trump filled them up for like $1.10 a gallon.
Well, don't worry. They're going to blame Trump for that somehow. They'll work that into him being his fault.
Well, hopefully 4 months, they can blame him for whatever they want.
Yeah.
He'll take it on the chin.
What is it? I'll take some mean tweets for like $2 a gallon gas.
Yeah, absolutely.
Or I can
bring it on.
Be able to go to the grocery store and not have to sell blood to go get something to eat. I'll take that.
I mean, hell, you only give plasma twice a week. Or sell plasma twice a week.
If you really want to know what's going on in the country, and I tell people, go to the grocery store and just watch.
Yeah.
Just watch the people at the counter, at the registers, like panicking because they don't have enough money. Or going, man, I don't know what card I can use. Or a multitude of things. Just go to the grocery store for 10 minutes and watch people to get to checkout. You'll see how the country is doing. People get back because they can't afford it. Can't get the milk because I can't pay for it.
Yeah, I saw a video of a girl, young girl, and she's freaking out over the price of chicken. One package of chicken breast, I think it was. I have to work a whole hour just to pay for this chicken. Yeah, no kidding. So much for chicken being 29 cents a pound.
It's ridiculous. It's not fair. And I don't mean that in the liberal crybaby sense of it's not fair. I mean the legitimate common sense. Yeah, it's not right. I mean in the legitimate school of common sense, this isn't right. There's no reason for any of this. Let's just keep printing money out. That'll solve the problem.
Yeah. Hey, thankfully, Mike Lee has a bill pending in the Senate right now to abolish the Fed.
Good. It'll never happen, but good.
And there's another one in the House. I forget who has it in the House. So.
But you get rid of the IRS too.
And it has bipartisan support.
Yeah, so. IRS and the Department of Education all should go.
Oh, education. That was a gimme anyways. Thank you, Jimmy Carter.
Yeah, thanks, pal. We were number 1 before that. Then we dropped down to like 20 or some crap like that after he instituted that.
Yeah, and now we're at like 47.
Yeah, we suck. That's because schools are more worried about teaching about you can be a girl if you're a boy, and you can be a boy if you're a girl, and you can change your name, and you can fly, and you can be anything you want to be. Don't worry about reading; it's not that important because
don't worry about geometry or
that's
anything
racist.
like that.
That's all racist and white privilege.
Meanwhile, China's eating her lunch.
China, everybody's eating our lunch at this point. There's no respect for us as a country. I mean, like I said, Netanyahu comes over here and half the Congress can't even show up.
Yeah.
And then you got the idiots outside breaking their own stuff. It's like it's like being in your house, not liking your neighbor, and you burn your couch. He doesn't care. He doesn't give a crap. Like, burn your couch. I don't care. It doesn't affect me. But we got morons out there doing that, breaking our stuff.
Yeah.
Because they're mad.
Yeah.
And that's just a symptom of a bigger problem. That's public education right there. Get mad, break your own stuff. Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
No
sweat.
Yeah, I'll do it. Because I know I'm not going to get arrested anyway.
And if I am, I'll be back out in a half hour.
Yeah, in a half hour. Heck, I won't even get to the cruiser. I'll be done. So let me see that shirt. Nice. Very nice. I like it. Oh, you can see this one?
Oh, I saw you were wearing colors.
Yep.
There you go.
Conservative Club.
You just got yourself a raise.
I just got a promotion. Okay, I usually don't. Some morons online on commenting. I don't know if you can see the comments.
No, I don't.
His name is not LOZ2. I don't know if that means he's missing a testicle or he's not sure what he is. He said, yeah, like BB possibly starting a bigger war in the region. Your children are the ones who are going to suffer that. See, I can't stand fucking morons like that. The guy's probably got the IQ of a shrimp, lives in his mom and dad's basement, eats Hot Pockets and touches himself and says, I'm really special. I'm really smart. Listen to me. The idiot doesn't realize Israel is reacting. For the last decade,
yeah, exactly.
Hamas has been shooting rockets into Israel daily, and they didn't do anything. But now when they come in,
you're going to get hot.
Oh yeah,
you're going to get hate mail from shrimp because they've been trained to run on.
I doubt he could spell my
treadmills.
name. He couldn't spell my email address, so I'm not worried about it. So these people get upset when Israel fights back because it's okay to hate Jews. Hamas is poor and they're the victims. Feel sorry for Hamas, even though they raped and killed women and have.
Yeah, Jews and Christians are fair game.
Oh yeah, it's okay, even though that Hamas targeted civilians, purposely targeted civilians. It's okay. Israel kills civilians as collateral damage, and now it's a war crime. These fucking idiots like this dude, that's a war crime. We got to get Israel. Netanyahu needs to be in front of the world court. This guy couldn't spell Netanyahu, has never been in the military, and probably never been shot at in his life. So he's an armchair quarterback who's going to comment on shit he knows nothing about.
Yeah.
He's probably played Call of Duty. He's played Call of Duty, so he's a general, obviously. But he's never been anywhere where the things have been going on. And I've said it before, and maybe I'll speak closer to the microphone so this idiot can hear me. It's not that Israel's killing America or killing civilians. It's Hamas is using them as shields. Israel has no choice. If I'm hunting you and you want to hide in the school, that doesn't mean I stop hunting you. That just means, number one, you're a coward. And number two, now I got to come into the school to get you. Right. It's that simple. But
yeah, you're launching rockets from schools or hospitals. We're going after the schools and hospitals.
But that's okay. That's fine to do. Hamas can do that. This guy supports terrorists. That's okay to do. But God forbid you fight back. You can't fight back. You need to sit there and be killed and let them kill you, because he'll be upset that you fought back. And God knows he's a very important person, and the world should come to a screeching halt because this asshat has a bone to pick with the way these people are defending themselves. I would like to know what he would do if I broke into his house or someone broke into his house and started stealing his stuff and beating up his family. Is he just going to hand them stuff? Like, oh, take this. Don't forget that. That TV's pretty pricey, too. Grab that on the way out the door.
Yeah, please, take it all.
Yeah, there's the safe. Let me give you the combination so you can take all my money. Or would he finally grow, would his balls finally drop? And he would understand that, hey, sometimes you got to fight. And there's nothing wrong. I didn't ask these people to break into my house. I didn't ask them to start robbing me. I didn't ask them to assault my family. But yet here they are. So I got two choices. Either I turn chicken shit, or I grow a set and be a man and defend my family. I kind of know where he's leaning already towards chicken shit.
Yeah, exactly.
I don't think he's got balls to be online and be a keyboard commando, and that's fine. I mean, I'll laugh at him when I'm done. I'll read what he's written, but you can't expect it to invade a country and not get retaliation. You can't expect that you're going to get in a fight.
So, he's gonna hide behind his wife's skirts.
Or his Ziza, whatever
yeah,
skirt.
yeah, right. Whatever its pronouns are.
I just can't stand cowards like that. I can't.
It's his partner.
Whatever. But if you asked him the question like, well, what would you do if you were the Israeli prime minister and they invaded your country and raped and killed your women and killed 1,300 people? What would you do? He wouldn't know what to say. He'd have to go onto the CNN website really quick and look up what they said and just kind of puke that back up at you. Because he doesn't have the mental fortitude to come up with an independent thought on his own. He's got to hear it from CNN.
Yeah.
Goddamn coward. That's a coward.
Yep.
They should stand there and let these people kill them because they're Jews. And I hate the Jews, so kill them all. Mom, I want a Hot Pocket. I'm hungry. I mean, really. I mean, you were in the military. I was in the military. We've been overseas. We have seen these countries firsthand. The Jews are not the problem. They're not the ones causing problems over there.
The Jews are the most laid back. All they do is run a defense. I mean, they don't run any offense. It's just defense all the way.
When I went over there, I went to Haifa. We were there for a week and a half. We got to go around Israel, and it was great. Israelis were great. The country was great. When you start getting towards like the border, I didn't feel safe. Not because of the Jews, because what was on the other side of that border? That's what scared me. Yeah. They're the ones screaming and yelling at us and throwing rocks and cussing and wanting to kill us, not the Israelis.
What's coming across the wall? You know, is it a rock? Is it a grenade?
It's really that it's good versus evil. It's that simple. You can try to swish it around in your head and try to come up with clever little sayings, but it boils down to good versus evil. It's that simple. Either you're with good or you're with evil. This guy's with evil. He supports rape, murder, and all that. That's evil. And I'd like to tell him,
cooking babies in ovens.
Yeah, it's fine because they're Jewish.
Yeah,
because they're Jewish.
But they should be used to ovens. So
and I'll offer this douchebag. I will offer you live here a one-way ticket to Gaza, where you can go defend the Gazan people and fight against the Israelis. If you have that much strength in your convictions and you feel that sure about it, let me know. I will buy you a plane ticket to go there, and you can show them how badass you are in person.
I'll contribute to that.
Yeah, we'll send you over there. So stop running your mouth about what they did or didn't do. Email me your address, and I'll get you a ticket to Gaza tomorrow. You can fly over there and run your mouth over there and see how much they support you in Gaza as soon as you start talking. Dude, they'll kill you quicker than the Israelis. You'll be done. So let me know when you want to fly over there. I'm waiting. Fucking piece of shit.
Oh, and that sign that Rashida Tlaib had was a war criminal.
Oh, yeah, but she changed signs out.
Yeah, it was two-sided. It was war criminal on one side, and what was it? You said the other one.
It was the genocide.
Yeah, genocide and war criminal. Yeah.
How was she? Why? What I don't understand is why was she not asked to leave? Like, look, you can't conduct yourself like an adult. You need to leave.
Huh? Well, I have a feeling she'll be leaving in November anyway, or January. She's not polling well.
Oh, good. She can go move in with this not lots too. They can eat Hot Pockets together, be anti-Semitic, and two-step around their basement together.
Are Hot Pockets halal?
I'm sure you can find some. I mean, he can find some. I mean, he knows everything. I mean, he's like a Middle East expert. Apparently, I should have him on the show. He can educate us all.
Yeah.
On the poor Hamas and how they're just the victims and Israel's the big bad bully. I can't stand people like that. I really can't.
No.
He's still talking, but you know what? He still hasn't given me his address to send a plane ticket to. Yeah, because he's not going to do it. Because he knows deep down in his heart, as soon as they get off that plane, they would kill him. The minute he got off the plane, they'd kill him. So he can run his mouth all he wants and blah, blah, blah.
Yep, keyboard warrior. They're all brave behind the keyboard.
He's another example of how important November 15th is. Him and the other fool that was on here earlier are exactly why we need to vote correctly. Or we're going to have more idiots like this in positions of authority.
And nobody should get comfortable with Trump being in the lead.
No, that's what I said. I don't care what you hear. Vote. Vote. Get your family together. Bring them all. Vote. Bring your neighbors. Vote. Don't listen to anybody else. Vote. It's that simple. Or we're going to have idiots like this making decisions for the country. That have. I mean, I wouldn't hire this guy to run the midnight shift at a Circle K in Alaska. But there'll be people like him that get elected that are just as ignorant and uneducated and operate on feelings like him. And we're getting more trouble.
All right.
Well, thanks for hanging out, man. I appreciate it.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
We'll have to do it again. And next time we'll do the peanut butter whiskey.
Sounds like a plan.
All right. Anything
I got old granddad.
Oh, sweet. Anything you want to part with? Anything you want to say?
Anybody local needing a Trump sign? We have them. $8 a piece. You know, we're a nonprofit, but we're not a charity. So, you know, we got bills to pay. We got to keep the lights on. So,
and one of the meetings is second Monday every month, correct?
Right. So next meeting is August 12th at the Elks Lodge. And we'll have signs there for everybody.
Cool deal. All right, man.
All right.
Well, thank you. I'll let you go. I'll talk to you later.
Thanks for having me.
All right, boss.
Bye now.
Bye. So everybody, that was Fred Profiter. He's the president of the Frederick County Conservative Club, one of the biggest clubs in the county. They're active. They do things. They go places. They go have speakers, like he was saying. They're not one of those Republican social clubs that take your money and just have happy hours or have holiday parties. They actually do work and do things. So you can look about them on the web. It's fccc.us. You can check out their website and see what they do. And if you're local, like you said, if you're local, you don't have to be a member to come to the meetings unless it's a member-only meeting. And we've already had that. So everybody's free. Come check out, see what we do. And if you like it, you can join. It's a good time. And I'm the VP there and treasurer. I wear a lot of hats there. Well, I have run over and I apologize. I try to keep it an hour. Follow me on Facebook, under the Conservative Corner. I have lots of videos there. I was in there doing Facebook Lives for a year, and there's like 50 or 60 videos. Feel free to check those out. Join the page and follow it. I'm also on the Patriots Prayer Rumble page. I'm on X, and that's right up here. Conservative Corner. That's on X. So yeah, check them out. Like and follow. And that's another thing. I get a lot of people that, I mean, like one post had like over 100 people on it. You can like it. Doesn't mean you're buying anything. Doesn't mean you're obligated to anything. You can like it. Just click the heart. It's okay. And you can click retweet. Doesn't mean you're going to be sucked into some subscription and get bills in the mail. The more we spread our word, the more people hear us, the bigger we get, they have to listen to us. They got to stop ignoring us. We'll have some power. So keep that in mind. If you see something you like it, retweet it. Or if you see it on Facebook, share it. Get it out there. And remember, we got other great shows during the week. We've got the Base Mother, Alexandria Levine's on. She's on. Two Guys, One Coup. Political Badass, I think, is our new one. Lots of people. Very smart people with a lot to talk about. So don't just watch me. I mean, keep watching me. But watch them too and share their stuff and get their name out there. We're trying to grow this page and become the voice for conservative people. So do that. Share it. Like it. Tell your friends about it. If you have any questions, you can contact me. Any of these things on the bottom of the screen, and I'll answer your question. You may not like the answer, but I'm not going to lie to you. So at least you'll know where I stand. Other than that, thanks again for hanging out with me. I'm sorry I ran late. I was just talking with Fred, good guy. So I'm sorry I ran late. I owe you all a beer or something. So next Sunday, same time, we'll be here. And remember, if you vote principle over party, you will have never wasted your vote. And you can walk out with your head held high. So everybody, thanks for hanging out. And I will see you next Sunday.